Go ahead.
We're back to our old friend, the D-shaped lens. However, we now are only using one beam from the laser. One beam coming through. What I'm going to do here, is that a pretty good level?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. I'm going to rotate this D-shaped lens to various angles, and hopefully you can see the input and output angles. All right, so let's just try, I'm going to try and line it up with 80 degrees here. I'm not doing a perfect job, but that's approximately, now obviously I've only rotated it 10 degrees. Notice the incident beam, there's always a reflection from the first surface, and then we can see the output beam right here. The output beam looks like it's at, can you read that or not?
No, a little more white light would help.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Is that about right, or is that too much?
Yeah, it's when you step in, it blocks the reflection and it gets darker. I think that'll work.
Is that about right? Okay.
Maybe.
So we'll see. But I can see it's at about 1, 2, 3 degrees. So that's 0. That's 10. This is closer to 0 than 10. It looks like it's about 3 degrees, maybe 2.8. All right. Again, this is the incident beam. This is the reflected beam off the first face. And then there's a refracted beam traveling through the medium and straight out, because this surface, the beam will always exit straight out on the D-shaped lens. That's the advantage of the D-shape. Let's go to the next angle. 70. Sorry, this might be a long one. Apologies. Incident, reflected off front surface. This is spitting out now at about 6.5 degrees. So I've rotated 20 degrees from the initial state. I'm going to rotate 30 degrees from the initial state. Okay. In this point, incoming beam, reflected, and this comes out at 10 degrees. Next, let's go up to 40 degrees. Notice as you angle it more and more, you get a little bit more reflected off that front face. So what? Again, so incident beam, reflected off front face, coming out at about 13.5. Let's keep going. Now I've rotated all the way up to about 40 degrees, and that reflected beam is getting huge. Sorry. It's close enough. So now we're coming in. We're getting a very strong reflection because of this huge angle. The output beam, after I've rotated it, the angle says 40, which means I've rotated it 50 degrees from its initial state. And the output angle is about 18, maybe 18 and a half. Let's try one more. So notice that reflected beam off the front has another name that you've probably heard before, glare. Obviously, the more angle you have, the more glare you get, the more reflection you get. Okay, last one, I promise. Input angle, we have now rotated 60 degrees from the initial state, and the output angle is somewhere right around 23 and a half. Let's call that good.